When can we get a Falcons-Jaguars game where both owners are on their respective sidelines
playing with their mustaches?
The most dastardly plan you have, blank.
Blank.
Another Dead Podcast.
Can we talk about China first?
I don't know. Can we? Do we have any corporate sponsors that would prevent us from doing so?
Yeah.
Are they going to not listen to us in China?
I guess that's one advantage of having a podcast that no one listens to is they just, fuck the Chinese government.
Kind of say what we want.
Yeah.
Right?
I just don't understand LeBron.
How do you not understand LeBron? Of course he was going to do this. Communists buy shoes too. Space Jam 2.
For somebody who has, kind of self-proclaimed himself as a people's champion, okay, when it comes to humanitarian rights here in this country, sure seems he didn't think about that response at all.
Well, they're all proving themselves to be hypocrites. And it's easy to go after a soft target that everybody's already going after. Like, we're not going to the White House or, F this, F that. When it comes to dollars, a lot of these guys have shown their true stripes.
I mean, look at what Maury even said, the Rockets GM.
What did he say? Something like justice for Hong Kong or,
This is exactly what he said. Fight for freedom, stand with Hong Kong.
Yeah, that's a fairly positive message considering the history of, the Chinese government since Hong Kong, since the British left and there was an agreement put in place. Chinese have been systematically pushing the buttons on that agreement, the same way they do in the South China Sea and with Taiwan and Tibet and, basically any dissenters from one China. And, obviously the Hong Kong people, it's reached a boiling point where they're out in the streets. They're all pretending like they don't know what's going on. Steve Kerr is like, well, it's just, I don't really know the whole situation or, it's like, of course you do. Of course you do. And then the ESPN memo leaked, do not talk about the Chinese government. So their way around that is talking about LeBron and the personalities, Maury, whatever. They're talking about them, but they're not allowed to actually talk about.
Well, yeah, I mean, how interesting is that? Because the NBA has, for the past couple years, proclaimed itself as the league that lets players, owners, anybody say whatever they want. They encourage expression.
Right. Do you remember the whole shut up and dribble thing?
Yeah, I do.
Is this like ironic at this point?
I don't want to bring her into this because I don't think she deserves any merit to like.
I'm not talking about her specifically. I'm talking about the response to that, which has aligned itself with LeBron's new marketing thing that just launched, which the most ironic move, it's called More Than an Athlete.
Why don't we just make him the commissioner of the NBA at this point? If this is what he feels he has to do everything now, every time anything happens with the league, we have to hear about it from him.
I think in this situation, I think he's just saying these things to cover his own butt because of the whole Nike and China deals, man, to be honest with you.
They're burning his jersey in Hong Kong right now.
But this is somebody that, during, pretty much every civil rights issue that has cropped up in the last decade or whatever, like voiced an opinion on and stood up for the cause of equality.
It didn't hit his wallet yet. Now it's hitting his wallet. Yeah. Now he's going to take back a lot of those things he said, man.
Well, yeah. I guess it's not your people.
Maybe he'll go to China and build some schools. You remember when he took all that credit for opening that school? And turns out it was like super heavily subsidized, I mean, granted, he made a nice donation, but
it's basically he did. You ever seen that Office episode, Scott's Tots? It's basically like that. It's like, I'm gonna make sure all y'all kids go to college, yeah. And then they kind of forgot about it. And then all of a sudden, it's like the bills are due. He's like, well, all right. But yeah, I mean, that's all you see on like Twitter, Reddit. They're just getting blasted hard. And the people that are coming out strong in support of Hong Kong, or at least At least not even necessarily mentioning Hong Kong, but at least on the side of like civil rights or equality in general, they're getting a lot of play right now.
Well, if
So,
anything, the
I-
NBA had a real opportunity here to turn it the other way around.
Well, they should have thought about that before they decided to engage in the Chinese market, invest so heavily and rely so heavily upon the Chinese market. Once you're reliant on that market, they have you. They have you by the balls, you know?
I understand. I mean, I've read about all their recent investments in China, and I know how big the sport is there. But I mean, the fact is, the NBA is the most popular sport in the world in terms of television deals. So they reach a lot of countries. I really felt like they might have actually had leverage in this thing if they took their time.
I mean, they have leverage, I guess, from a PR standpoint, but China still controls the purse. So
Yeah.
they can go and say whatever they want, but at the end of the day, if they're reliant on this market and the NBA as a whole is reliant on this market, then they're going to keep bowing down to it. I'm excited to see how it plays out, though.
Yeah.
Because at the same time this is going on, the premier of China is talking about, dissidents will be crushed in the street. Any attempts to divide this country is going to be met with brutal force and all this stuff.
And Adam Silver's like, oh, what? Hey, look, they're misunderstood.
Yeah, it's just all a misunderstanding. We need to see what's going on. We don't know what's going on. We don't know. We're just shutting it up and dribbling.
All right, moving on. I didn't prepare the game because we played Underlords. So I guess you guys want to start on the game last night, Monday Night Football?
Yeah, the ones the Lions should have won.
Yeah, what do you think about that call?
The first one, whatever. The second one in crunch time on Flowers or whatever, the hands to the face, or is clearly just touching the guy's shoulder pad. But all credit to that left tackle with selling it by throwing his head backwards as if he was getting like a fucking stiff arm.
Well, not only did he sell it, apparently in the fourth quarter, he complained to the referees about not getting the call on that. And then they subsequently threw the flags.
Yeah.
That bugs me big time.
Yeah, he's out there, acting, just waiting for the call, and they threw it at the worst possible time. I felt bad for him, man. Flowers, like, did you see him? I was like, God damn, this is the game right here. This is the end of the game.
There's so many times now where the players are persuading the refs to make the calls. Like on some of the pass interference, they fall, hit the ground, get up, run to the ref, and then all of a sudden the ref throws the flag like after. Like I don't understand. Because he went cry to you, you got to call it now, or you wasn't sure enough and you let him dictate it?
I don't really understand the ref player relation. It's like, you signing footballs for the kid's son? Like, what makes sense in this situation? Another argument, though, for full-time refs.
Well, yeah, this is becoming a real issue every week.
Man, it's almost every game lately. It's almost every game.
Why do we never hear about this in college? Ever?
I think the officials in college, I think it's different. I think that's what they do full-time, huh? Is it not?
Well, I don't think so, because the same ref that screwed the Saints last year is also an NCAA basketball referee. I'm not sure how it works in football, but we never hear about these issues in college football. And I don't know if it's because maybe some of the penalties aren't as like consequential. If you get pass interference in college, it's 15 yards, and maybe the games are more lopsided in college, so it's not as big of a deal. But this is every week.
Does it have to do with like the programming itself? Like, there's more camera angles, more slowed down angles.
I mean, dude,
the
bloggers
viewers
are
to
making a
see.
living now on this single issue. Every
I
week
know.
now, there's a column now. These were the crazy, egregious calls or no calls of the week.
And I don't even, the coaches review on the calls. I mean, does it even pay to even have one?
Yeah, so pass interference, right? I think
That just doesn't work anymore. Like the refs are like so offended that this rule was put into place that they just we'll review it. Yeah, they just go in the thing and they're like, fuck these guys, come out. Yeah, it looks good. It's like one I think was reversed.
1 out of 21.
Yeah,
And Golden Tate was the latest victim in Thursday Night Football from what I can remember, is clearly pass interference in that game. Reviewed, nothing.
and that's weird because he's usually the victimizer.
Well, what's the deal with Al Riviere up in the booth just watching that footage and saying, no? How greased is he from Vegas?
Well, yeah, exactly. If you're like a conspiracy theorist, like there's no smoking gun here, obviously, but you're like, are these guys like trying to make the game more competitive? Are they calling flags? Are they, calling penalties, throwing flags based on the flow of the game and what they think is best for the entertainment aspect or the gambling aspect of this game?
I mean, dude, you might as well have Buffalo Wild Wings up in the booth with him, pressing the button.
Why does it go down to one ref as well? Every other call, if it's indecisive, they get together and talk amongst all of them.
Yeah, but there's a head guy, and he gets the final say.
Yeah, he's got the earpiece to Vegas.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me.
He's got an earpiece in one ear to Vegas, and the other ear goes to Goodell. Yeah, I tell you what, Capaccio, just go ahead and throw your flag out there. We're trying to get a little softening up on the numbers, if you know what I mean.
It's pretty blatant.
Well, they have a little time to straighten it up because it's going to be the same shit as last year with the Saints if this carries on into the playoffs. Because if this is a make or break game on like if last night's game were deciding who wins the NFC North, and I guess it ultimately could, if it came down to that call, I mean, Detroit's going to do the same shit as New Orleans did. They're gonna buy billboards and wherever the Super Bowl is at this year.
And I hate the argument that people will make when they say, well, the team had opportunities to go and win the game, even though that happened. And I hate that argument because you don't know what happens if that doesn't happen, because it's at that intersection of time where anything can change after that, depending on the result.
That's what the sportsmanship winner says. He's like, I'd like to blame that call, but we had other opportunities to win the game, and da da da. That's a gracious, humble quarterback saying that. But like a realist is like, yeah, it came down to that fucking call. Like it would have changed everything.
Well, last year, Rams fans will tell you, well, I mean, Greg Zuerlein nailed an insane kick in the dome for the win, and I agree, he did do that. However, that would have never happened if we would have got the call. So.
Right.
Yeah, because you score a touchdown and they can't just go and kick a field goal.
Well, you don't know what happens after that, but I can tell you, he wouldn't have kicked exactly from that spot, no matter what. Something would have been different. We just don't know, and I don't even like arguing about what happened after because that's so bad.
Yeah, like I blocked out from my memory what happened after that. I think I was at the dock or something. I just walked out. It's like, this league is horse shit. I'm done.
How bad did the Packers look in that game? They can't catch anything.
Yeah.
No one can catch a football besides Devontae Adams, apparently.
I still think Detroit's underrated, and I still think they're a good team.
Yeah.
Like I said, man, they could have won that game, not for a few bogus calls.
Agreed.
They had their mix-ups and all that, but they kept Rodgers relatively tamed. About as tame as you can keep Rodgers in Lambeau.
Well, if no one can catch the football, I mean...
I'm with you. Yeah, I'm with you there. I'm just not sleeping on Detroit. That's all I'm trying to say.
Well, Falcons lost yesterday, and much to your chagrin, Dan Quinn remains employed with the organization.
I have a new theory now, and it's backed up with hard evidence, and that's a quote from Arthur Blank, and I'm going to paraphrase, but he said something to the effect of he's dissatisfied, and they're going to, look into some things going into their Week 9 bye. So they have the Falcons' next two games, Rams at home and then Seattle at home. They lose these two games and then go into Week 9 That's their bye week. He's fired. Lock it. There's a future for that. Lock it.
They're not looking good at all.
Their defense is just atrocious.
It reminds me of us 4 years ago, the Saints.
Yeah. Yeah, except they don't have an explosive offense, really.
Oh, I disagree. I think they're very capable passing the ball.
Ryan ain't no breeze 4 years.
Yeah, but the numbers don't lie, man. I mean, they've been top 5 all year in passing.
Yeah, because they're coming back in games and just getting like garbage time stats. Like
They have the most points against him, sitting right now with 186 points
Yikes.
in 6 games.
that's going to be a crazy one this week.
Do you think they should just keep extending Julio like for like god amounts of money every 2 years? It seems like.
He's going to be like the Larry Fitzgerald of Atlanta. So they made that trade. Ramsey is going to
Yeah,
Los Angeles. Is he playing this week? I imagine so, huh?
he's probably sick. He's probably sick. I don't know. He might not be ready.
I was going to say this game on both sides is going to be crazy, but Julio might get shut down.
Plus, he's probably waiting on that heating pad for his back to come in from Amazon.
I like to picture him like in a hospital gown with like a thermometer hanging out of his mouth. And he's got like one of those little nightcaps, like those old timey nightcaps with the ball on the end. He's
A
like,
sleeping
his
cap.
eyes are closed, And then like somebody comes in and tells him he's traded to the Rams. And then like he just like whips off the nightgown and he's like in his full pads and uniform. Somehow he's in a St. Louis Rams uniform. And he's just like ready to go.
It's like the NWO reveal.
Yeah.
Sting.
With the defensive playbook just in his back pocket, the top secret one. He already has it.
Yeah. It's like, I'm feeling better already, Doc.
That's definitely how it happened. Well, Rams lost to the Niners. Goff can't win big games.
He's terrible. I just dropped him in my league.
Did they really have to get rid of Marcus Peters to bring in Ramsey? Like, I don't really understand the...
Marcus Peters is soft.
Yeah, but still, it still feels like they're dismantling. Like, when the news came through on Peters, the Ramsey deal hadn't come through yet. And I didn't really understand. I was like, are they giving up? Like, is the division out of reach for them now? Is that what they're
No.
thinking with Seahawks and 49ers?
They're getting rid of a weak cornerback.
Okay.
Same reason the Chiefs didn't want him.
He's still better than a lot of cornerbacks.
Yeah, but like if he doesn't get an interception, he's not tackling anybody. He's gonna try to strip the ball and then just get the. He's weak, man. He's like all the criticisms that people had of like Deion Sanders going soft on people with tackling and all that stuff. It's like 1,000-fold for Marcus Peters. You can watch a highlight video of it on YouTube if you don't believe me. But there's like a collection of him just giving up on plays, and you don't want that. You know how much he would be fucking lambasted in New Orleans if he was if he was on the Saints?
That is true.
He'd be like Jason David. Yeah.
We're the hardest fan base on cornerbacks.
Yeah. And I can't believe I said his name because most people around here just refer to him in the same way they do Voldemort.
Jason David?
Yeah. He who shall not be named.
Captain Kirk's still at it, dude. He's riding high.
All right. So I have to eat some crow, I guess, from last week.
Yeah.
He tricked me again. And this is classic Kirk, right? Of course, the Eagles secondary is banged up. They're not good. But it's these types of games that get people kind of like, I don't know, Kirk might be pretty good. And then he's gonna let you down. And I think it's gonna happen this week.
He's going to pull a Jared Goff, not even throw for 100 yards.
And that was just bad. Like, that doesn't really happen in the NFL too often, where like a receiver is just as open as Stephon Diggs was multiple times in the game for like multiple 50-yard touchdowns.
And he overthrew him on one, too.
Yeah.
He almost
Like
would've
just
had a
wide the
third.
fuck open.
Yeah.
They have a really interesting schedule the next 4 games. 3 away, at Lions versus Redskins, at Chiefs, at Cowboys. I think they can win 2 of those games.
I think they can win too, but I'm picking them to lose this week. I think they can beat the Cowboys and obviously the Redskins. They should destroy.
I mean, yeah, the forecast is still the same for them. Even if they make the playoffs, he's going to sling it. But precision and clutchness is just something he doesn't have, or he hasn't convinced me.
That's one thing I was talking about last week, man. Dalvin Cook is the greatest asset he could possibly have because they have to respect the play action with him.
Dalvin Cook almost broke the catch record last game.
Fucking dynamic, dude. Yeah, he's awesome. I love watching him play.
I'm happy to see that he's really healthy right now, man.
They got another guy behind him too. I think his name is Madison. Who
Also very dynamic.
Yeah, it's just like that's exactly why they got rid of Latavius. They knew what they had.
To be honest, if they just had another quarterback that was just better with the ball.
They traded Washington for
who? Wait, what?
They reversed the. All right. Who was the quarterback 2 years ago on Minnesota?
Case Keenum.
Yes. Yeah. they trade Kirk Cousins back to Washington. Get Case Keenum.
I don't know. I'll take Kirk Cousins over Case Keenum.
I mean, Minnesota would too. It's just funny how that all played out.
He's just reckless, so it might win him a lot of games. He was
like that with the Redskins.
He's a true slinger, man.
Yeah, he'd have these great moments.
Remember how great Rex Grossman was at times?
Gross.
The fucking dragon? Yeah. Hell yeah. I mean, I remember hating Rex Grossman though. Back in those days.
Grossman to Hester. Madden.
I didn't come to appreciate him until much later.
Yeah, but his bad throws just outweighed his great throws all the time.
Fuck it, I'm going deep.
I gotta pee. I'll be back.
Is that what we do now? We just casually take breaks? I guess I'll move on with our agenda since our host is going pee. Stassi has written down here, Chiefs lose again. How good are the Texans?
I like the Texans, man. I think people are underrating them right now.
They're pretty good. I like them. Watson's putting up some wonderful numbers. There's some good receivers too, man. Time of possession is what won the Texans the game. They didn't allow, the Chiefs to have the ball, man. You give Mahomes the ball, and that's when you get the touchdown passes. I mean, they threw the same amount of touchdown passes. 3 and 3.
Well, part of that's their running back too now. Carlos Hyde looks good with them.
He does.
Good Johnson.
What a bargain bin find for them, huh? With Hyde and Johnson.
Yeah.
Both of those guys released. They just scoop them up.
Hell yeah. Their receiving core is already, fantastic.
Yeah, Fuller's back.
One of the best in the league.
He had some drops though.
Yeah, he's a Ted Ginn type.
Whoa. You don't think he's better than Ted Ginn? You would rather Ted Ginn than Will Fuller?
I would take Will Fuller.
Ted Ginn's career is way better than Will Fuller's career.
Well, that's because Will Fuller's been hurt almost every year.
Ted Ginn's been playing for like fucking decade, man.
That's what I'm saying. Will Will Fuller do this for 10 more years? I don't know. But early on in his career, and even really still good. Sometimes, Ted Ginn would burn the fuck out of somebody and then drop the ball. You know what I mean? The same criticisms of Will Fuller were made to Ted Ginn. That's why I say, he's got a little bit of that in him. But yeah, I think he's all around probably a better receiver. He runs more routes than go. So
Hopkins hasn't been putting up that great of numbers lately either.
He got the catch when it counted in that game.
Yeah.
That's going to be his MO probably because defenses are going to try to just take one of them away, and Hopkins is the one they're going to want to try to take away every game. They're going to scheme for him. It's good to have somebody like Will Fuller on the other side.
Hopkins is definitely in my top 5 greatest receiver of all time.
Whoa.
Yeah,
dude.
Of all time?
Okay. Yeah.
All right, so you got Jerry Rice.
Randy Moss, Terrell Owens, top 3.
And then you're putting Nuck in there somewhere.
Yeah, you're gonna put DeAndre Hopkins over so many other people.
You got like Larry Fitzgerald. Like, what the fuck are you doing with me? Where am
I
I at?
am
Where am I?
going to do that because
Megatron.
we're going to
Yeah.
talk about quarterbacks.
Calvin Johnson's standing over you. Like, what about me?
We're going to talk about Hopkins putting up these numbers with great quarterbacks. No, you can't even say he had great quarterbacks.
He has Deshaun Watson.
Now he has
Okay.
Deshaun Watson.
Who did he
Okay.
have when he came into the league? Matt Schaub.
Let's talk about Randy Moss then, because Randy Moss literally had shit quarterbacks until like the last 4 years of his career. So, and he is like second greatest all time in numbers. You know,
You're not talking about Culpepper that way, are you?
Culpepper was not a good quarterback, and you fucking know this, man.
What?
Come on, dude.
What?
Oh my god, it's embarrassing.
Hey, he had that deep ball.
Yeah, as does Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins would be a Pro Bowl quarterback
Stop it.
every year
Stop
if he
it.
had Randy
Stop
Moss,
it.
dude. He would.
Randy Moss would beat the shit out of Kirk Cousins. Like, I don't like why you always smiling at me. Why you always smiling?
I think you could put Moss with almost any quarterback. If you could get young Randy Moss and just give him any quarterback right now.
Trent Dilfer.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I would re-sign Luke Falk and give him Randy Moss, and I think we could win football games. Rest in peace, by the way. Released.
Mm.
We barely knew you.
Yeah, you start some games and then next thing you know you just let go.
I know, right?
I appreciate you filling in that spot for us. We don't even want you on the practice squad. Check out, man.
The
See
Jets, baby.
I was gonna say, when are we gonna move on to you celebrating your pick?
Hey, it ain't easy being right, but the Cowboys suck, bro. Look, I don't want to gloat because I love the Jets. I like what they got going on. I don't think they're amazing, but I think the Cowboys are trash. They're just garbage. And that's all I have to say. I mean, we've already gone over this. I don't have any statistical analysis for that. They're bad.
They're good against bad teams. And the Jets, I don't think, are necessarily a bad team.
Not with Darnold back. Darnold's going to change that team.
I think their defense is all right.
Their coach is bad, though. Their coach he's horrific. He's a cuck. They need a real coach. They don't have one. They have a guy who has an 80-year-old man's arm physically inserted into his asshole at all times.
Jason Garrett.
That's it.
Jerry's only kept him there because Jerry gets to be the coach when Jason Garrett's there.
Dak's top two receivers in this game were guys named Jason Witten and Tavon Austin. Yikes.
Hey, don't take away from Jason Witten.
I got some news for you though. I wouldn't shit on the Cowboys too much because I think this week is going to be interesting for them.
Do tell.
Well, we can get to that in the pick section, but basically they get to go against who Kirk Cousins torched last week, which is going to be at home. So it couldn't come at a better time.
Yeah, this Eagles team hasn't really aged well since their Super Bowl win.
They seem like they're okay with stopping the run. Like their front seven seems all right, but their secondary is terrible.
Yeah, they don't look the same.
We talked about it earlier, but I mean, Diggs and Thielen were just running free.
Their defense was so fierce 2 years ago. It was scary. Sorry, I fucking choked.
Did you just pull a Jared Goff and choke?
Goff's going to ball out this week.
I hope.
In the Georgia Dome. Arthur Blank's going to be standing there. Can't wait. They're going to cut to Arthur Blank and then cut to Dan Quinn and then cut back to Arthur Blank and then cut to Dan Quinn.
When can we get a Falcons-Jaguars game where both owners are on their respective sidelines? Because that would be the greatest two-owner face-off.
Just staring at each other across the thing, playing with their mustaches.
Ooh, yeah.
Those
are
like
like
Pinky and the
just-
Brain.
Yeah, just two villains. The most dastardly plan you have, blank.
Well, the Browns lost again, as predicted.
Yeah. I think they're going in the gutter. think their season's just sad because that division's like everything aligned for them to take it, right? The preseason hype, bringing in everybody, you know.
Baker's he's shotgunning beers in the offseason at baseball games.
That's an upgrade for them though.
And then a team hit a walk-off grand slam right after he did that.
They're used to their quarterbacks, hitting rails at the Kentucky Derby.
Chubb is looking really good, though. Chubb's looking good.
Chubb's looking good. Kareem Hunt's coming back soon. He's going to kick the shit out of the competition.
All waste of talent right now, though, because unless they just
Yeah.
get Baker Mayfield to throw screen passes to Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb and maybe Odell Beckham every once in a while, I mean, he's just going to keep throwing picks. They got to bench him. I'm not saying move on from him permanently. He's got to get benched, though. This is too bad. This is really bad.
The division leader's 4-2, like it's not over.
He might be the worst quarterback in the NFL.
No.
Name some.
I mean,
And actual starters. Like, I'm not talking about, fill-ins.
Statistically, he started poorly. I mean, he has the most interceptions in the league, I think, by far, right?
Yeah, he's increasing his interceptions by 1 every game. He had 3 this game, 2 the game before, 1 the week before.
They're playing from behind, man. He's just having to throw it a lot.
Yeah, he's just making bad throws.
And it's crazy because stats-wise, like, Chubb is on par to have 1,000 yards rushing season. They're going to week 7. He's got 607 rushing yards.
It's a hard thing to do in today's NFL.
And you're on a losing team. And you're still running that hard, man, with 6 touchdowns.
There's so many fucking like that team on paper you're looking at and like, how is this team underperforming? Kitchens is gonna get the axe for it eventually.
Yeah, I mean Baker looks like, dude, he said this before, I'll say it again. He doesn't do anything consistently at all.
Well, maybe he's like the new Phillip Rivers.
That's a head coaching thing. I was going to agree with you.
What if he's the new Phillip Rivers? Like last year, he wasn't that great starting out, and then it kind of got going.
But with
post Hugh Jackson,
right? But with Phillip
used to be like that too.
Yeah,
he
but
wouldn't turn it on until like November.
We have pedigree and history with Rivers that we can rely on. With Baker, we don't have that yet, so he could legitimately just be a big bust.
Maybe, or if this season's anything like last season, he can turn it around midway through and finish off, pretty spectacularly.
I don't see that happening.
Well, it's all up to him because he's got some amazing weapons. So if he can make the passes and make the reads, then that team's going to put some points up.
Yeah, he needs to start doing drugs in the games. That way he can focus better. I'm serious. Like I encourage amphetamine use. Yeah, pop an addy. Take the 4 games next season when you get suspended.
It's not going to kill you.
It's fine. Yeah.
Pop a fucking addy. You're not making the Super Bowl, so just pop an addy.
Antonio Brown tweeted #FreeAB today.
Yeah. So there's actually kind of like a movement going on about that. There's a lot of people, Patriots fans primarily, that are saying, and I'm not saying this is wrong or right, they're like, we're already paying this dude and nothing, legal of any consequence has come out of this, just, these accusations or whatever. So why not just let him play?
Agreed.
Right? And they're mostly saying that because they're in dire need of a wide receiver. But I'm also of the mindset that you shouldn't, dish out punishment until everything's there.
I mean, isn't it ironic, though, that he's tweeting #FreeAB when he's the one that orchestrated his own freedom from two different teams, but he's also now put himself in this situation?
Oh, yeah, I'm not sympathizing. Don't get it twisted. I'm not sympathizing with him. He made this bet for sure. I'm just saying, if he wants to play on the Patriots and the Patriots, you know what I mean? If there's like if he has some type of coming to Jesus moment where, he recognizes like his faults or whatever, and makes amends, and there's no overhanging, police investigation or legal hurdle that he has to overcome that's going to take too much attention in the locker room, then I don't necessarily think it's the worst thing in the world for the Patriots to bring him back. Like I said, they're already paying him, so.
I'm just at the point where I'm just tired of hearing about him, man. Kind of like the Ocho Cinco of nowadays.
Talent levels vastly different, though.
Yeah, AB's still a premier wide receiver.
No, he is. He is. I get it. But
Chad Johnson didn't start making all that this crazy shit until
the end.
An afterthought.
So you bring him back into the locker room. How long is it before he starts being crazy again, like he is now?
Who knows? But if anybody does this, it's Belichick. It's like, all right, we'll bring you to the Patriots, and if you mess up one more time, you're gone forever.
Well, yeah, Belichick's policies, the way he runs the team, there's no room for that. Like, he won't even make it an issue. He'll just bench Antonio Brown, and he won't even comment on it. So Antonio Brown can't win because Belichick doesn't react. He's the ultimate Jedi.
Yeah, you think you're in a game with him, and then you realize that he is actually the game.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I mean, with him releasing him already, that just means that he doesn't want to even deal with it. If there's a situation, and look, Belichick is a savior of players. You got problems? Come on over. Let me help you out.
I almost wonder if he's not going to make a play for AJ Green.
I was going to mention that. Yeah. I don't think AJ Green's good anymore, though. I think it's done. Like, it sucks. He wasted his career in Cincinnati, but I think his time has passed.
I think he would be I think he would be the best receiver on the Patriots.
Speaking of old wide receivers, though, how great did Demaryius Thomas look last night? It's nice to see him in a uniform catching passes. He looked really good.
After a serious injury, yeah, he looked really well, man.
I'm happy to see that. Yeah, I mean, I guess AJ Green makes sense, but if I were them, I would get a guy. I would rather trade for somebody a little cheaper, Devontae Parker. I think that makes sense for them. He's starting to look consistent.
Dude, if the Dolphins did that, it'd just be like, okay, what the fuck is this division anyway? You know what I mean? Like, why does this division even exist? Like, the Bills and the Jets would be like looking at, you know what I'm saying?
It's just to put the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
It'd be like that meme with like the guy and his girlfriend, and he's looking at the other girl. Okay, in this situation, like the Dolphins are the guy, and then the Patriots are like the hot girl, and then like his girlfriend that's looking at the guy is like the Jets and the Bills. They're just like, what the fuck are you doing? We're meant to be competitive here. It's like you're just gonna give them they really need a wide receiver. Just give them your best wide receiver.
Yeah.
They'll probably get like a 3rd round pick or something shitty for it too,
and be happy about it.
Yeah, they'll be like, thank you.
Oh man, we got a 3rd round pick.
Hell yeah! thanks, coach.
Can't
They
wait
call
till
him
next
coach.
year. Yeah. Coach, you think we should lose another one this week?
Yeah, I'm gonna need you guys to just go ahead and give me your number 1 wide receiver, and I'll give you something back to be named later. Okay. Thanks, coach. I guess we got that out the way.
We did.
We're all on board. #FreeAB.
I guess.
I'm not.
What?
Another 20 minutes conversation ahead.
That's all we talk about.
I just don't want
the
him
Antonio
bitching
Brown
about
podcast. We're just talking about Antonio Brown.
AB's Twitter.
Speaking of bloggers making money on subjects, that's another one. People are just employed now because of the story.
You're not going to believe what Antonio Brown did this week.
I am the only one who got the Panthers game right. Just want to put that out there.
I mean, the only one I think we should talk about here would be the Chargers Steelers. Kind of shocking.
Yeah, that was baffling to me, and I don't really understand it.
Hey, to our credit, last week we brought up how home is a non-factor, and lo and behold, there were more Pittsburgh fans in that stadium
Yeah,
than Chargers fans.
that's what I said. Pittsburgh is one of those teams that travels well, but you don't even have to be one of those teams. If it was Denver or somebody else, it would be, more Denver fans. They don't have a fan base. Their fan base is in San Diego, and they feel slighted. And even when they were in San Diego, it was like still kind of sad, like they weren't selling out.
Yeah, but it had at least history.
Did
It
you
felt
see that stuff about maybe them getting offered to St. Louis?
nice. Hey, I like that.
It's a rumor, I think. I don't know if it's been substantiated, but there's been some stuff going around about, St. Louis possibly being offered that franchise.
Well, I mean, speaking of teams that have been slighted, cities that have been slighted.
Right. That's why I brought it up, because it makes a lot of sense to me. St. Louis they like football. They would love to have a team there, I'm sure. So that's where they need to be. We don't need another fucking Los Angeles team.
But beat by the third string quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
You
bad.
only score in the fourth quarter after they done slowed down.
Fucking Chargers. They play up and down to their opponents. I feel like they're always this team. It's hard to predict. Like, I feel like they can beat any team and lose to any team.
Much like Green Bay, they were plagued by poor pass catching.
I mean, Keenan Allen only had 2 catches.
It's time for some motherfucking picks.
Let's do some picks, yeah?
All right, Thursday night, yeah?
Yeah, Thursday night.
Kansas City Chiefs at the Denver Broncos. Chiefs are favored by 3. Over-unders 49. And I'm taking the Chiefs.
I think I'll do the same, man. I think I'm gonna go with the Chiefs here, just because
No way they lose 3 in a row, right?
they can't. No
It's
way.
the Broncos, right?
If they lose to the Broncos, though, we might have to start looking into something.
Fellas, I want you to buckle up.
I'm picking the
Okay.
Broncos.
Because the Chiefs are going to Mile High on Thursday night. After losing, it's a short week. The Broncos are on the up and up. They're figuring some things out. They can run the football, and they do have a true number 1 wide receiver again. I'm going to take the Broncos here. The Chiefs
You
are
talking
going to
about
lose
Cortland
again.
Sutton?
I am.
Okay.
Ouch.
It wouldn't surprise me. It really wouldn't surprise Vegas either. It's not like a heavy spread.
I think this is easily like the biggest chance for upset here. What I'm looking at.
I'll tell you the biggest upset, but you have to hold your horses for that one. All right, Sunday, Cardinals at Giants. Giants are favored by 3. Over-unders 49, and I'm taking the Giants and Saquon Barkley's return.
I will also take the Giants because the dynamic of that team is just so different when Barkley is in the game, and he's practicing and he's going to return. So, gotta go Giants.
This is another tough one.
I know, because I like the way the Cardinals are playing, and Kyler Murray's like sneaky in the end of games, but I'm gonna give it to Saquon just on account of I feel like they can control the clock with him, and David Johnson's a little banged up too, so
I'm going to stay out in the plank and take the Cardinals for the upset.
okay. Well, here's a good one for you. This one's basically a pick, although there is a line. Texans at Colts. Colts are favored by 1 point. Over-unders 47.5. And I'm taking the Texans in this one. I know the Colts have had 2 weeks to prepare, and they looked good prior to that with a huge win against the Chiefs. But I think the Texans are just a more complete team. They have the better quarterback, the better receiving threats.
Well, I think the Texans are going to come in here kind of swole-headed after beating the Chiefs. And I think they underestimate the coach who have had the time off to take a look at this game. I'm going to go Colts.
3 away teams in a row. I'll take the Texans. Yeah, I agree. They have the better quarterback, better complete team. Excited to see them progress in the season. They could be a real big surprise come the postseason.
You took 3 underdogs in a row. The Broncos are at home.
Oh, are they? That's true.
Yeah, that's in my high, babe. Next game is Dolphins at Bills. Bills are favored by 16.5. Over-under is 40 points. And I'm taking the Bills Mafia to just continue what's going on right now. They're too hot. They're too excited. It's a home game. There's going to be dildos on the field. It's going to be outrageous. And that 16.5 line is, I think, too low. They're going to run it up on them.
I got to go Bills here. I can't even pick the Dolphins to get me a Burger King meal right. So I got to go Bills.
Yeah, easy pick. Let's take the Bills.
And that's it?
That's it, dude. That's
Nothing
an easy
else to
call
say.
from me. I've got nothing to say about the Dolphins.
All right. Vikings at Lions. Vikings are favored by 1 point. Over-under is 45.
Well, we know who you're taking.
Yeah, I'm taking Detroit. I think this is going to be
I am the tiger.
it's going to be one of those games where Kirk's going to be smiling, his little toothy grin, and then he's going to turn around and then you're going to realize that his pants are just completely filled with shit. And he's just going to crash back to earth. And also my boy Galladay. How about my boy Galladay?
He's
Galladay.
overrated.
Overrated? He's a fucking baller.
He's a freak.
He
Baller,
balls.
you know, Des Bryant was a baller. He's no Des Bryant.
He's better than Des Bryant.
Whoa.
He's better than Des Bryant.
No.
I say some crazy things, but wow.
Okay. Well, the facts will bear themselves.
I mean, statistics are facts, so.
It's his 3rd year, so.
Okay, sure.
Give it some time.
I see Kirk Cousins just not having that great of a passing game this game, but he just rides on the back of Cook, man, and they go for a victory here.
The Vikings offense is more complete top to bottom. I would just rather have Stafford than Cousins as my quarterback. I'm going to go ahead and take Minnesota here. The streak continues. Cousins is making everyone happy. It won't be till much later in the season when he disappoints, and he will disappoint greatly. But until then,
he's going to disappoint you this week.
Hey, making people happy is making them win. So
now we have Raiders at Packers. Packers are favored by 6. Over-under is 46.5. And I'm taking the Pack in Lambeau to continue getting favorable calls. Even though I kind of like what Oakland's doing, and I kind of think that they will keep this closer than people are expecting, I think the Packers are going to win this game.
I'm going with the Raiders here with Josh Jacobs with 100 yards.
Okay.
Yeah, I see him running all over this run defense, man. I don't know why. I think Gruden's just going to out-coach him here, man.
to me, this game comes down to one thing, and it's Devontae Adams. If he plays, the Packers win this game. If he doesn't, I'm going to go ahead and take Oakland. But officially, we have to make a pick.
Yeah, you pick right now. So
I'll take the Raiders to go in there and steal one from the Packers.
nice. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Next game. Jaguars at Bengals. Jags are favored by 3. Over-under's 43.5. And I'm taking the Jags to get right on the hapless Bengals. I think that this is a game that Minshew can exploit their secondary. I think Chark and D.D. Westbrook. Speaking of, I think you owe us some money. So still
I think I remember that as well.
Yeah, that was a pretty good bet. But
maybe.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Same amount of receptions, but just 10 more catching.
I'm going to go out and say that Chark actually, I'm going to reverse my stance from last week. I'm going to say Chark has a bigger game than D.D. Westbrook, if you want to take money on that.
No?
Okay. So who are you guys taking, the Jags, or somebody taking Bengals for the first win of their season?
No, I'm going Jag.
No?
Minshew's going to throw the football over the mountains.
Okay.
Bro. That's it.
Hey, I mean, the Jags went toe-to-toe with the Saints, so it should be easy pickings.
Do you guys remember the Bengals' first game of this year?
No.
They played the Seahawks, and they almost won. It was a very close game. What happened?
Yeah, but I mean, watching first games like watching college.
I legitimately think they're the worst team in the NFL.
Worse than Miami, huh?
In some ways, yeah.
I mean, man.
All right, we're moving on. Rams at Falcons. Rams favored by 3. Over-unders 54 points. I'm taking the Rams because you know how I'm taking this. I'm taking the Rams here. I'm taking Seattle next week. I'm taking the Week 9 Atlanta bye. I'm taking Dan Quinn gets fired. I'm taking Arthur Blank.
What a parlay. What a parlay, man.
I'm parlaying all this together. Arthur Blank has a mild heart attack. But fully recovers. Very happy, healthy, and all this stuff. And I'm gonna say he brings in like a dud, like Chuck Pagano or something.
Wow. What a dud.
All I can say is I'm gonna just pick the Rams. I don't know how to follow that, man.
Speaking of get right games, I'm gonna take the Falcons to get right in this one.
Take them.
They've got to win. They've got to win a game. I'm taking the Falcons to win this game because they've got to win one. This has got to be the
It's
one.
gonna be so good watching the Falcons lose, knowing that you took them. Matty Ice is gonna have a pants. It's gonna look like he's wearing a diaper filled with shit.
Double or nothing, Nick?
The score of this game is going to be 48-45 Falcons.
Double or nothing, Nick.
You got to take the over on this one.
Oh, I'm all about the over on this one.
This is a shootout
Rams
galore.
Yeah, golf is a must start this week.
Matt Ryan is a must start this week.
Yeah, if you want your pants shit, if you're playing in the pants shit league.
Yeah, but fantasy is not about
If you get
winning the game.
6
It's just
points
about
per
accumulating
shitted
points.
pants,
It's about
he is
accumulating.
a must start. They're gonna get in the end zone. It's gonna be so nice. I'm gonna be sitting on my couch. I might have like a nice tea or something. They're gonna be. It's like 3rd and 5 or something like that, but they're like 10 yards away from the end zone. You know what I mean? Like, so they have like all the opportunities. They can go short. They can get another set of downs and just run it or whatever. They're gonna do like some stupid play action shit. Matt Ryan's gonna turn around. There's gonna be somebody right in his face, and he's gonna just throw a pick. He's gonna throw a pick, and the guy's gonna
Pick
run
six.
it back. Yeah, it's gonna be just a straight pick 6.
Double or nothing on this, Nick.
It's gonna be Jalen Ramsey. He's gonna score a touchdown.
You guys want to double or nothing on this one? Because
Yes.
I actually like this one.
Yes.
Yes.
You
Okay,
owe us
how much
50
how
now.
much do I owe you right now?
If you go double or nothing on this one, you're gonna be paying me and Nick 100 apiece. To receive 100 back. Okay.
Yeah. Double or nothing. For sure. I'm gonna take the Falcons in the get right.
Oh, I can't wait to watch this.
Easy money, man. Wow.
Just lock it in, dude.
The Rams are
Dude,
digressing.
this is a very profitable podcast.
The Rams are digressing.
I don't even
okay?
think we need sponsors.
Do you think
really.
Jalen Ramsey is going to be able to contain Julio Jones? You kidding me? Bro, I don't care what cornerback you are. Julio Jones is a man amongst boys.
I don't care what the fuck Julio Jones is doing. This ball has to get to him somehow.
He's
You know
got
what
to
I'm
throw
saying?
the ball. Matty Ice got to throw the ball.
You guys
first.
act like during the whole era of the Falcons sucking that they haven't been able to get the ball to Julio Jones, and that's just not true.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could see it happening if the ball like happens to like bounce off of Austin Hooper's head and then fucking
Yeah. The Rams are going to put like 3
goes
people on
through
Julio.
Jalen Ramsey's hands, and then Julio grabs it.
They're going to put the majority of the defensemen on the field on Julio Jones.
Yeah. He's not throwing it to nobody else, and their team is just shit. So
He's gonna throw it to Calvin Ridley. It's gonna go way over his head, and it's gonna land in Arthur Blank's nachos, like that he was eating. He's gonna have like cheese sauce all over his little velveteen vest thing that he wears
Yum.
because he's a 1950s butler. All right, the undefeated San Francisco 49ers at the Washington Redskins. Niners are favored by 10 points. Over-unders 41. Taking the Niners to stay undefeated against the garbage Redskins.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Niners here.
Yep, that's an easy one. Niners for me.
Jimmy G's playing great. George
playing
Kittle I'm pretty sure I read the stat correctly. I think he's the most efficient in terms of like production, yards after the catch, all that, catch percentage of any receiver, not just tight ends. He's having a great year.
Yeah, Kittle's a fucking animal, man. But Jimmy G still. Did you see that pick in that game that he threw though? Yikes! That was he's still, dude. That's another team that can go so far, and if they get in a game where they have to, where it comes down to a one possession situation, he is a liability.
I'll agree with that.
Could be, yeah. I mean, he's a little raw, but he has good weapons around him. They have a good running game. They have a good defense, and it's one of those offenses that I like Kyle Shanahan, right?
You know I like Kyle Shanahan, bro. I mean, to me, it's all about Shanahan.
I just think that he knows how to get the best out of his quarterbacks.
I agree. He can
and-
guide Garoppolo for sure. Yeah, I mean they're definitely going to win this game. I mean, come
He's
on,
a
fucking
nurturer.
Redskins.
He's going to see, okay, what did Jimmy G do last week? He threw garbage interception. How do we correct this problem? How do we avoid the situation going forward? What schemes can I draw up to make this easier and more effective for my quarterback? That's the kind of coach he is.
You hear that? That's you for Shanahan right now.
Okay, did you guys pick for this game?
I'll take the
Y'all
Niners.
just sucking dicks.
Yeah, Niners, man.
All right, afternoon game. Chargers at Titans. Titans are surprisingly favored by 2 points. Over-under is 40, and I'm taking the Chargers. +2. I don't think they're as bad as their record indicates. And I think that the Titans are – I don't know what they are.
The Titans have no offense. They have no identity on offense.
I think this is a game where Mariota gets benched, honestly.
Yeah, he's done.
I think Tannehill is their backup.
Yeah, he is. He already came in. Mariota did get benched in this last game. Tannehill did come in and he played.
Yeah, I
He
feel
looks
like
better than Mariota.
Right. Well, I feel like we might see a bunch of him, but nevertheless, I think the Chargers win.
Yeah, I'm going Chargers here, man. They're threats. They gotta get it together. Definitely gotta get it together, man. You can't have Garden, Eckler, and the receiver core that you have and just not win games. And Phillip Rivers, come on, man. Step it up. Let's go. Get it going.
Well, it's getting close to that time of year. He's got about 2 weeks left, and then he really turns it on.
Luckily for them, with the Chiefs losing, the division is still kind of in play for anybody. So
Yep, including the Raiders.
yeah, it's an easy one. I'll take the Chargers.
Second afternoon game, Ravens at Seattle. Seahawks are favored by 3.5 points. Over-under's 50. And I'm taking Seattle at home. I think that though Baltimore is good, I think this will be a close game, but I just think Seattle's got more weapons. I think they'll do more in terms of bottling up Ravens' offense than vice versa, I guess you could say. I don't think the Ravens can stop Seattle at all.
I'm gonna go Ravens here, man. They're looking good. Lamar, like I mentioned before, I think they play a lot better when he's elusive and actually does some of the running and not just sitting back throwing. He can throw, but he's a great runner. He's the Michael Vick of our time, and they look good, man. And if he's got to throw it and use his running back, Ingram's putting up some great numbers as well. Go on Ravens.
Yeah, I take Ravens here too. Ravens to me are more, I don't want to say they're more complete because I like what Seattle has going on, but I think the Ravens are going to wear Seattle out. They're more efficient on offense. over the whole year, maybe not trending the past 2 weeks. They have a really good run game, which allows them to be balanced. And Seattle, as good as they are this year, they're not going to stay where their record is. They have some things to still figure out. At least they're figuring out their running game again. That's been very crucial for them. They're riding the hell out of Chris Carson.
Well, they're letting Russell sling it too, and they're letting Russell scramble.
Sure, but Chris Carson is getting insane touches. He's one of the most used running backs in the NFL.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But you're not gonna get that kind of production out of Carson if they were doing it the old way, which is just first down run, second down run, third down pass. You know, that's stale shit that Seattle did for so long. They're best when he's rolling out of the pocket, when Wilson has free space to work with.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna change my mind here. I'm gonna go Seahawks.
Did I convince you?
I mean, I like I said, I think Seattle is the more complete team. I just like the Ravens, man. I want them to win.
Well, pick the Ravens then.
I like Ingram there. That's our boy.
You can pick back.
Stassi just turned into a referee. I can't believe you.
He's like,
You just
"All right,
you just gave him his flag that he's been asking for. Thanks, Nick. Way to be coaxed.
So what's your actual pick here?
Yeah, let's try this again, Nick.
Seattle.
Okay. Last afternoon game. Our New Orleans beloved Saints at
The Bears. Sorry.
the Chicago Bears. Bears are favored by 3 points in this game. And this game has the lowest over-under of the week.
I'm not sure why he's laughing, but okay.
At 38.5. I think he's laughing because the Bears are favored in a game against the 5-1 New Orleans Saints.
Against the number 2 power ranked team in the NFL.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Number 3, actually. We're still behind the undefeateds. Yeah.
Oh, are we?
Yeah, we didn't pass up the Niners or the Patriots.
Well. Okay.
So are they favored on account of Trubisky coming back for this game?
And it's a home game, and we don't have Drew Brees, and the Saints are just finding ways to win. I think there's a lot of variables that Vegas likes for the Bears.
The Saints record at the Soldier Field is not a good one, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't know those stats or anything. So.
All right. Well, I'm taking the Saints, obviously. I think they're the more complete team. Not to overuse that phrase, but we'll get into this with the fantasy stuff. But I think the Saints front seven is going to force Trubisky to have to pass. And I think our secondary is just chomping at the bit. I like Lattimore a lot in this game. I think he makes some big plays.
Before Nick tells us that he's going to pick the Bears, I'll just go ahead and agree with you and pick the Saints. There's no way the Bears can get anything going offensively against the Saints defense, which might actually be the most complete defense in the NFL.
If Eli Apple continues playing like he's been playing, it's really good, man.
We have so much depth at linebacker. It's insane.
Fucking Mario Davis, dude. I feel like he's involved in every play.
He's a soul eater.
He's ridiculous.
He's going hunting, yeah.
He's great in coverage. He's just good all around. I just don't see how the Bears offense gets anything moving. If it were to happen, I feel like it would be through the hands of Tariq Cohen. You know, he's one of those guys that they can stretch a side to side.
For how many plays until Demario Davis ends his life?
No, I'm just saying. I just think that Tariq Cohen is as a Saints fan, that's who I'm looking out for in this game.
Yeah, and next week we'll all be on GoFundMe to raise money for his recovery.
All right. Enough of this. The floor is yours, Nick. Tell us about your Bears.
All right. So my thoughts on this game is going to be that it's going to be a defensive game, right? The defenses are going to be on the field most of the time. Both offenses aren't going to get anything really going.
100% of the time there will be a
We're-
defense.
Yeah,
That's a hot take.
it's going to be defense against defense. They're just going to hike the ball. One person's going to throw it up. The ref's going to just toss it in the air, and they're just going to fight over the ball the whole time, right? And they're just going to keep doing that till
I like how guys in that contest. Yeah.
I'm going at least 4 interceptions between both teams here. I just feel that the Saints with Teddy aren't going to be enough to beat Trubisky with the Bears, man. You have, and I hate to say it because Teddy truly isn't a backup quarterback. He could be a starting quarterback for a lot of the teams in the NFL right now. But Trubisky being the starter for the Bears and knowing and working with the first team all the time, number 12 is going to give y'all hell, man.
Can I copy and paste your phrase? So the Saints and Teddy aren't enough to beat Trubisky and the Bears. Okay, now let's X out that last part and say the Saints and Teddy weren't enough to beat the Seahawks. Oh, wait, they were Russell Wilson, Super Bowl MVP. The Saints and Teddy weren't enough to beat the Cowboys. Oh, wait, they were. The Saints and Teddy weren't enough to beat the mustache, the hottest commodity in the NFL in Jacksonville. They were. Trubisky is lesser than all of those quarterbacks.
Don't cry, Nick.
I'm not gonna have
Nick,
a
don't
comment
cry.
on that because I don't want people that listen to this hear what I got to truly say about that.
Nobody
So
listens
go,
to this. You can say whatever the
no
fuck you
comment?
want. This is going
That's
nowhere.
another dead podcast.
This is the deadest of podcasts.
It's in a graveyard already.
It's like for friends and family only.
The game Sunday, the Bears are gonna win, and I'm just gonna go with the Bears.
Can we bet on this one?
At least 4 interceptions, at least 2 per team. It's a defensive thing, man. The Bears are gonna score a defensive touchdown. Yeah, Bears win.
$50?
No, I'm not gonna make a bet on it. I'm already about to take your money in the other
Yeah.
game.
Yeah,
Well, the other one's much sweeter for you.
fucking wrecked.
Yeah, exactly. man. I'm trying to take
right.
your money right now, not just break even with it. So
That was the last afternoon game. We're moving on to Sunday Night Football. Philadelphia Eagles at Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys favored by 3, over under 49.5. After seeing what Minnesota and the pants shitting Kirk Cousins did to the Eagles secondary last week, I'm forced to take the Cowboys. I don't think there's any way the Dak, Cooper, Gallup, etc. don't have a big game here. I could see the Eagles slowing down Zeke because I think that front seven's pretty decent, but I think the Dallas will be able to pass all over them. And if I'm ranking defenses, I'm putting Dallas a cut above Philadelphia's. I think they're more complete. So I think it'll be a good one. And I think Vegas thinks that too. That's why the line is close, but I'm taking the Cowboys to win it at home.
Well, much like the Packers-Raiders game, this game depends largely on the star wide receiver, Amari Cooper. Cowboys need him to win this game. I don't understand what's going on with the Eagles. They're not aging well since the Super Bowl run. Man, I'm going to take the Eagles in this game. That's how overrated I think these Cowboys are.
Well, I know you hate the Cowboys, but what if the Eagles are bad?
I can't cope with that yet.
I think you're just seeing red for the Cowboys, man. I'm going Cowboys here.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a huge Cowboys fan either, but I don't think they're as bad as Stassi purports them to be.
Okay, so the Jets can beat them, but the Eagles can't. Sam Darnold and the Jets can beat the Cowboys, but the Eagles, no. I'm seeing red. I must be.
I think the Jets are a better team than the Eagles.
Yeah. I'm not contesting that point. I don't think the Eagles are very good at all. I think they don't have any cornerbacks. Like they have like high school cornerbacks out there. I don't think I've seen that in an NFL football game, at least not in a while, to have Diggs that open, that often in the game. You know what I mean?
He's one of the fastest receivers in the NFL.
Yeah, and cornerbacks are fucking fast too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
Like,
there's a reason they're not wide receivers.
okay, why does Diggs not do that to every team then?
Because Kirk Cousins is bad.
Kirk Cousins it has nothing to do with Kirk Cousins. I'm talking about Diggs being like 10 steps ahead of his coverage.
Well, I mean, dude, are you going and watching condensed games and like seeing that? Like, dude, Stephon Diggs is one of the most speedy receivers in the league. He's one of the best receivers if given the opportunity.
He's excellent, no doubt. But that's what an Eagles apologist would say. You know, like for some reason defending their shitty secondary. It's
He
terrible.
just hates the Cowboys that much that he
Fucking
he could-
yeah. Like
he
he'll just
might
do
even
these-
say that the Dolphins would beat him. Like, oh, bro, the Dolphins are going to blow him out.
Monday Night Football. I have a feeling Stassi's going to take a spicy line here. Patriots at Jets. Patriots are favored by 10. Over-under's 42. I'm taking the Patriots.
I'm going crazy here. I'm going Jets. I'm going to say that Sam Darnold is going to be the first quarterback right now that's going to put numbers on this defense.
They're going to be fired up, man. They're going to be playing at home, coming off a big win. You know, the gang's back together. Le'Veon Bell's always a threat. It's going to be fun to watch for sure. I just don't think that I just think the Patriots are they're just a class above. I think they'll just outcoach the Jets.
I am rooting for the Jets, but I got to take the Patriots.
Yeah.
This is an easy one.
It's kind of how I feel. If the Jets are to succeed in this game, they would just have to just shut down the Patriots offense, which can be shut down. The Bills did it. You know, they held them to like 13 points or whatever. The Patriots offense in itself, you know, their receivers are banged up. They don't have a lot of options right now. So if they close off the run game and they're limiting their options to Julian Edelman and Philip Dorsett and ailing Josh Gordon. I don't even think Dorsett will play, huh? Isn't he also banged
Yeah,
up?
but you got to think about Jacoby Myers. He's really good. And
Do I have to think about Jacoby Myers?
Yeah, you do. He
feel like I
was
don't
the
have to
best
think
wide
about
receiver in preseason football for a reason. He's really, really good. And actually, I think
talking about the
with the
preseason.
current situation and the health of the Patriots receivers, he's going to get some exposure. He is going to be a mainstay in their offense for years to come.
Well, they're going to need him, I think, because I don't know. The Patriots defense is, you know, arguably the best. So it's going to be up to Darnold to move the chains.
Love me some Jamie Collins. Yeah. Very good D.
I want New England to lose one. And
It'll
I
be
want
exciting to watch for you.
I want
You know what I mean? Like
Darnold.
you've been watching that Monday night game,
yeah.
rooting for the Jets.
Because I don't think the Jets have a bad defense. They've been looking kind of bad because they've been on the field for so long. You know what I mean? They're having to play so much because their offense couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
Now their offense is moving the ball with Darnold, man, and they're looking really good. I know I sound crazy, but they're gonna put some numbers on the Patriots, man. They got some great games this week.
All right, should we get to some fantasy sit starts?
Yeah, you guys want to go first? I haven't even looked.
All right, I have a two-part question. This is a pick 2 first, and then it's going to become a pick 1 after that. All right, so I'm picking 2 running backs here. Joe Mixon versus Jacksonville, Gore versus Miami, and Tariq Cohen versus New Orleans. Pick 2. Anybody?
The Gore is gonna be kind of hard to kind of pick because
Why you say that?
Singletary is supposed to be back this week.
Is he?
Yeah, and if he's back,
And
man,
he's been
it's-
practicing as well.
and I think they said the way it looks this week, he will be playing.
Yeah, that's a
Ooh.
no-brainer for me. You got to take Mixon and Cohen there.
And he was a full go today, so Singletary was a full go. So
All right, now we're pulling Gore off of that list and adding him with DK Metcalf versus Baltimore and Keenan Allen at Tennessee. Pick 1 for a flex.
But Keenan Allen, it's not even close.
I had some reservations about this because Tennessee's.
Bro, targets, usage, it's not even close.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you there.
Keenan Allen only had two
Like,
receptions last
this
week.
is a no-brainer
That's what I'm saying.
stud start. If you have Keenan Allen, you play him. Doesn't matter how the games go. I mean, most weeks, Phillip Rivers throws to him over 10 times. Like, where else can you get that? Like, and he has a really high catch rate. Well, usually.
Well, he's only got thrown to over 10 times once.
Yeah, look at how many catches he had like the first 4 games.
His receptions were 8, 8, 13. Since then, 5, 4, 2.
Sure.
Those are his
But
catches.
8-8-14 is wholly representative of
8,
his
8,
career.
13. I'm sorry.
You're right, but I mean that's
But
what
yeah.
his career looks like.
Right.
You know?
Right. I'm with you. I mean, the 5 catches against Miami is kind of like, okay. I can somewhat understand 4 against Denver and 2 against Pittsburgh. I think their defenses are a little bit underrated. But that's kind of like the thinking I was going with Tennessee. I feel like Tennessee's.
Well, Rivers can't trust Mike Williams yet. I mean, I know everyone wants to hype.
He seems like he is.
He wants to, but Mike Williams isn't always delivering. Keenan Allen is a sure thing. I think this will be a bounce back week for Keenan Allen. I don't think it's even a question over Metcalf.
right. Well, that's the only issue I had to clear up.
You got any, Nick?
I have 2 of them. Jared Goff or Jacoby Brissett.
What's Brissett? It's the Chiefs, huh?
Brissett plays Houston.
Houston, yeah.
Yeah, you got to take Goff there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Taking golf. I think that's going to be a shootout. And I think that the Rams are going to win that shootout. So
I got one more. Running backs. LaShawn McCoy or Jamal Williams.
Jamal Williams home against the Raiders.
Yeah, Jamal Williams. He gets used a lot. Even with Aaron Jones being the workhorse, Jamal Williams is getting a lot of work. And he looks really healthy now. I'm going to go with him.
I'm going to second that. It's kind of what I touched on last week with LaShawn McCoy. I don't really trust him so much anymore. I don't know his usage, and I feel like they want to pass more than anything. And if he's not in there, protecting, because they don't trust him in pass protection or for whatever reason, yeah, I want the guy that's going to get more touches, and I think it'll be Williams. They have a stout running game now, so it's okay to have the second running back there. He's going to get looks. What else you got? That's it?
That's it.
I don't
Stassi?
think I have anything. Yeah, guys, I'm good. I'm just good at fantasy. I don't really need help.
Mm-hmm.
Even for the purposes of making content, I'm too good at fantasy
Wow.
to seek advice this week. Sorry, I'm too locked in.
Wow.
Yeah.
What are you in? Looks like you're 3-3 in the only league I'm in with you. Kind of middle of the pack.
He's the best there is.
6th place, no questions.
I got nothing, dude.
Just nothing to say.